Hello everyone, this is Alejandro Cremades, and today we're going to be talking about how to create a successful product. So before we get started, make sure that you hit that subscribe button, and this way you will never miss out on any of the videos that we roll out every week. So creating a successful product is the Holy Grail. I mean, really thinking about launching something, putting it out there on the market, how people are gonna react, how do you iterate, how do you optimize? We're gonna cover everything in today's video. We're gonna give you that step-by-step guide on how to execute and how to make it happen. So without further ado, let's get into it. So everything starts with a why. Why did you in first place get started? Why are you trying to bring this to market? I mean, there's great people that have described in detail why that, finding your why, whether it's your product, your service, your company, it's everything. Take a look at, for example, there's a great book from Simon Sinek that is Everything Starts With Why. And there he actually talks about great examples why companies like JetBlue, Southwest, or Apple, why they were able to be so successful. Because ultimately that why, at the end of the day, it creates the culture, it creates the passion, and it creates the big drive to really push things forward. Because ultimately, if you have a very powerful why, you're gonna get contagious your own customers. They're gonna be excited, and then they're gonna also drive this, and they're gonna become your ambassadors at the same time. So understanding your why is critical. Another component is hiring the best. As they say, B- people are going to hire average and mediocre people. A+ people are going to hire A+ players. So you want to surround yourself by the best people out there, the ones that have that skill set, that know-how, and that also ultimately is going to allow you to really get your head above the water so that you can really see everything around you and you have a clear understanding of what the execution and what the path ahead is. So basically keeping your face and your eyes above the weeds so that you can see and so that you can execute. So again, you want to hire people that are better than you, people that can help you, because as the saying goes, you can go faster if you go alone, but you can go farther when you go together. Then you need to know your customer very well. I mean, essentially, who are they? Where are they at? What is the problem that they're experiencing? What would they get excited about? You want to do a lot of qualitative research, a lot of quantitative research, so that you are able to understand whether it's via phone calls, meetings, or data that maybe you even capture from surveys. You're able to capture what they need, who they are. Some of that data is going to allow you as well to optimize your marketing efforts and really putting that product or service that you're bringing to market in front of these people that are going to be highly incentivized to buy it. So numbers, data, and knowing your customers is critical. Also, ask your customers what they want. Rather than you making assumptions, rather than investing all this money into the product, into bringing it to market, into the technology, the development, whatever that is, don't execute based on assumptions. You should always execute based on data. So for example, if you get a nice data set of some of your customers and basically feedback they've given you, you can use that to really implement and to guide your execution much better. So rather than just like figuring things out, ask your customers, what do they want? What would they be excited that you could bring to market? And essentially, based on what you're hearing, then you grab that information and you use it to your advantage in order to execute. Like everything, you need to validate purchase intent. It doesn't matter if someone is telling you that it looks cool, it looks great, they love it. If they are not able to get their wallet out, pull the credit card, put money out, and buy it from you, you have nothing. Purchase intent is everything. Without purchase intent, there's no success. So ultimately what you want is to put it in front of people that don't know you, that don't care about you, and see if they're willing to make a payment. For example, a great test that you can do is to perhaps create a landing page, that you can create with like designs or whatever that is, put it out there, put some Facebook advertising or any type of advertising to it to drive traffic to that page. And then you see if people are willing to click on the button and make a purchase. And by having that purchase intent, you're going to validate whether what you're bringing to market is something that people want or not. And that way, when you go into adding more resources, more investment, and so forth, then you have a clear understanding that there's people that are willing to pay for it. And that is super important. Then you also want to know your competition. What are your customers using? What are other alternatives? Why do they like those alternatives? A good way to do this is essentially to survey your customers, either existing, potential customers, so that you know what's out there in the market, what they like about it, and what can you make actually better than them. Also, the user experience and the user interface is going to make all the difference. So you want to design the experience. You want to design how that onboarding, how the retention, them seeing the aha moment of it, getting excited with what you're doing, that's going to be a really critical aspect. So think about it like Apple, for example. When you get one of their products, the whole experience happens with opening the box, the smell, the product coming out. That's all great stuff, and that's ultimately the experience that you want to create, whether it's with a product, whether it's with a platform online, whatever that is, but it needs to be an experience what you're selling. The next thing is the branding and the pricing. So the branding should go along the lines with the data that you've been able to collect from your customers. So if you know that your customers are gonna be like between maybe like 20 and 30 years old, maybe you wanna use more like young look and feel type of logo and branding. On the pricing side, you wanna do some price testing. So the way that you go about that is perhaps you start playing and you start testing with the price. You start to see, like if you start at certain point and you continue to increase, eventually once, like you've gotten to a certain place, there's gonna be a big fall off of customers. That's what you need to identify. What is that price point that you can take it all the way up to where there's not gonna be a big fallout from your customers, and that you can still maximize ultimately the output, for the price that your product or your service is going to be. Then simplicity and focus. There's just a few things that you can really master. You can't do more than 3 things. It doesn't matter what you're doing, but more than 3 things, execution is going to be super difficult. So again, you need to be super focused. You need to go straight to the point, super simple, so that people get it. And also so that you don't overcomplicate your own execution. Then it's all about scaling. And what I mean about scaling is you need to figure out how you really create kind of like a wheel that turns on its own, not by adding more people, but by adding more money. Because if you add more money, for example, to marketing or to advertising, then that wheel turns on its own super nicely. And that's what it means to be able to scale. And being a scalable business where you've developed a model that is repeatable and scalable is the Holy Grail. So hopefully you like this video, hit a like, leave a comment, and let me know what you're up to, and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out on all the videos that we're bringing out every week. And if you're raising money, send me an email at alejandro@pantheraadvisors.com. I would love to help you out with your capital raising efforts. Thank you so much for watching.